Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. It's the finale of Katanagatari, baby. We're back here again today for just a little bit more Katanagatari, finishing off the series here today. I'm going to start with two apologies, because I always seem to do that at the start of videos. One, this video is late because I was sick early in the week, which sucks. Trust me, it sucks. But I'm not going to upload something when I'm sick, obviously. Two, sorry about the audio from last week. I've done an audio test this morning, so should be okay. I think my little dongle there was just slightly unplugged, but we're going to move forward. I'm just going to kind of jump straight in, I think, just because I want to watch the episode, basically. I want to see what happens. So first comment here from Oshi. I've been waiting for this. Show is great. I agree. It's been a good few years since I've rewatched, and I can honestly say I forgot a lot of it up to this point, but I didn't forget this episode or the next. Should be a fun wait for the next week. Well, it was a little bit longer than that, but sure. Episode 11 was fantastic, by the way. Probably the best episode thus far. If you're saying the same thing about the finale, that's only good news. Also, interesting little comment here about the previews. I almost think that the preview from 10 into 11 is meant to fake you out. I almost think it's intentional, right? And they've played a lot with previews and expectations during the show, right? That whole Sabi Hakuhei disaster, right? As well as there was a really weird preview before episode 7 as well. So I think it's intentional. You can disagree, but I don't think it's an unintentional we accidentally spoiled what happens. They're smarter than that, I think. I've got Hot Wheels Kid with the next comment here. There's a lot of context missing from the books in this episode, particularly to do with the reveal. Specifically, Amon Zaimon Ho'o, there's a ton of content here, right? So, I'm sure this was established at some point and was pretty obvious by his arm, right? But Ho'o's whole ability is to claim other people's body parts and replace them with his own. There's a whole lot of implied stuff about him taking Amon Zaimon's face, hence the mask. Hence all the stuff about them being friends, training together, I am you and you and me and all that stuff. That now makes a whole lot of sense, right? It's not particularly clear unless you're reading the source material, I don't think. Because I was doing a pretty good job, I feel like, of reading everything, and I didn't pick that up, so sure. The second one here is Togame's dad and all of this. I think they mentioned it in the anime as well, but Seito Hakari was buried under Hida Castle, but the constant influence it had on Takahito made him aware of the historical revision being carried out in the Shikizaki lineage, which led him to rebelling against, like, that, and not the shogunate. But then that implies a lot of stuff about what Yasuri, what Mutsue, Shichiga's dad, what he was doing, right? If the shogunate wasn't being rebelled against, or maybe they were being rebelled against in essence, but maybe he was actually just the tool of the Shikizaki lineage, right? Which makes a whole lot of sense. Lastly, here we have the influence that Shikizaki and the family and the lineage had on history, right? That's the whole reason that this is different from Japanese history. Because it takes a lot of historical events and time periods and stuff, but everything that's different, everything that's a little bit supernatural and weird, has been Shikizaki fucking with things, right? So the Maniwa and their Nimpo, the Itazora clan and their strength, Nanami's vision, even Togame up to a certain point, right? Like, everything that's crazy in this world is because of this, right? Again, the essence of a story and what makes things click and blah 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 blah. Nesuo-sen stuff. It's pretty clever. There's also a pun here. Princess Yosha, which is Togame's name, actual name, means Princess Permission, as opposed to Princess Haite, which means Princess Denial. So there's just, again, more opposites stuff. I guess you could, like, I don't know, permission to allow history to progress as normal, denying history progressing as normal, something in that maybe, I think. Next comment here from Sissoko. Yeah, I remember watching this episode for the first time, all the foreshadowing that something bad is going to happen, filling me with dread and anxiety, and then it hit as hard as it could. Again, the preview probably spoiled me a little bit, but yeah, again, this is building up to something bad. Something bad's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. Lo and behold, something bad happens. And it wasn't just Penguin dying, much to G-Bird's disgust here. It was pretty brutal, though. Killed the fuck out of him. Holy shit. And yeah, last comment here from Gian Bueno. Dr. Meki is the most poisonous sword, but it doesn't necessarily override the personality of anyone with Shikizakis. Now, this is this ability from Ho coming back into it, right? So Ho touched it with Kawauso's arm, right? This is literally like reads the memory of an object and then gets taken over. And of course, it's ironic, right? Considering he's, stealing other people's body parts and that kind of thing, and then renewing, and then suddenly he finds something too powerful and it takes him over, right? Maybe a little bit of Ship of Theseus in there. You know, I finally found somebody that's more powerful than I am, that I am assimilated by them instead of me assimilating them, if that makes any sense. I become them and they don't become me, if that makes any sense. Sure, we're going to leave it at that. And I don't know what to tell you about where we're at in the story. I mean, Togame's dead. I think the preview at least showed some like parting moments between those two, so that should be something I'll look forward to. Yes, in essence. Also, Shichika's eyes went crazy, and from the preview, it seems like he's gone full, complete perfection sword mode. So, I mean, the whole show's about his dichotomy between being a sword and being a human. Which one is going to trump in the end? How is this going to manifest? What does Haite have to say about it? What does Amon Zaimon have to say about it? Again, from the preview, it seems like there's a ton of different dudes that are going to represent the different swords. But again, as we've said, don't trust the previews. We're going to say. We're going to say 50 minutes to complete this story. And yeah, we're going to leave it at that. But not without some chill stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord, Discord, and poll too, because this is the last episode of the show. I'm going to do something in the early week slot after this, starting next week. I've got a few ideas. I may just dictate a slot it, but I think I'm going to do a poll. I think I might record the said poll after this. It's probably only going to be like 5 options or so, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. A poll will be out. Please look forward to it. Discord for the poll. Anyway, I'm going to watch the episode now. Goodbye? Goodbye is the wrong word. See you in a second. Rightio, I have episode 12 of Katanagatari up there ready to go. 49 minutes and 50 seconds on this one, so please sync up accordingly. GSK Quinn subs, picture-in-picture version in the description below, and just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Indeed. Was 2 shots too, true. I can't believe she's fucking dead. You see the eyes? True. Yeah, let me steal all your swords. Yeah. I mean, I also got ordered to do it, so I'm gonna do it. True. Oh. Well, that's a mean thing to say. Yeah, sure, give me an opening, why not? Entirely his fault? Maybe we'll elaborate on that, I don't know. But yeah, we made it. It's been a weird one to watch, Katanagatari, right? Because of the longer episodes. So, I mean, they're all really, like, you can single out a piece and react to it at a time, if you know what I mean. It's not like a 12 episode show, like a 12 episode 24-minute show, where you can like watch like one and not really feel satisfied. Every single time I watched an episode here, I was like, that's enough Katanagatari for now. Which again talks to its structure, but just over months instead of weeks, right? 12 weeks, 12 episodes. She's so cool. Damn, all those dudes are dead. Gun the Flame. Sure. I guess I never really looked up that. What do you think history is? Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Continue. Yeah, perspective's important in history. This is very Monogatari as well. And then obviously the blood soaking through there. Okay. Also a sunset, which is pretty, you know, apt. But I may have reason to fight you. Oh. That's very specific thing that you did? Sure. I don't know. Let's see. Damn, he cold. Well, that's pretty close to accurate. What about it? Well, it's a gun. I should have the bodyguard style, like jumped in front of her. Shut up, I'm thinking. We love a good scheme. It feels that way, yeah. Well, that's kind of romantic. I like that. It's a lot of blood. Yes, ma'am. I'm already doing it. What a hero. Make sure that I wasn't embarrassed in death. It's pretty lighting, too. I think that you've also done that to him as well. Music's pretty. I think that's true. Kind of speaking to what Penguin was saying last episode as well. Yeah, I saw this last week. White Snake, Shrine. Anyway. Damn. It's a pretty low opinion of yourself. That's really good voice acting, too. Look at that eye. Well, yeah, that'd have been a lot of the implication as well. But there's two sides to Togame here, right? One side like that, one side not like that. Heart. Under? No, okay. Yeah. I really like the representation of this with the eye as well. The eye that only appeared once the father died. I'm happy they're bringing this up. Because this is my theory for the longest. Oh my god. Yeah, you're crazy. She's gone pretty hard. Huh. Again, conflict. There's some fucking 5D chess going on here, I reckon. We will review at the end of the episode. I don't think he's gonna do that. The one time he's like not agreeing to orders, that'd be interesting too. Yeah, I know, like actually crying human tears too. But you're progressing away from that. I remember. There she goes. Oh, it's like the reversal, say. And now she's done. Okay. So I was gonna say that effect with the oh my god, and the cue in the audio made it feel like she was dying. That was a long dying speech too. Yeah, music was really really good there. Even now, I love this chime. That's really pretty. So is he going to follow orders and not do anything, or is he going to do his own thing, be his own man? What's up? Okay. Hello, the Shogun. Oh, look at all these dudes. Uh, why is there 12 of them? Yeah, that is true. We know. He technically was a swordsmith, though, because he made swords, but anyway. I agree. I'd like to know a concrete answer there. What's that supposed to mean? And you're hiding your face with a fan? Okay, now I understand what he means. So we're trying to power him up with the swords. Rude. To my boy Amon Zymon. I wonder who that invader is. Hell yeah. Here he comes. Yeah, he's cool. Look at him. What's that tuft near his belt there? I don't know, only you can tell me, huh? No, he's like the most powerful guy. Sup? I am the perfected weapon? Also, hey, if we have a perfected weapon, then we won't get taken over by a foreign country? Yeah, and he's just here to fuck shit up. Exactly. The one time I'm betraying orders. But it's also betraying orders from the people that are the good guys. So, like, we'll see. We'll see. I. Okay. Why would you even try to fight him? I would just hide. No, he is the most powerful guy. You don't get it. He's pretty good. Revenge. Nah, she did. She already did, and it didn't work. Technically accurate, sure. That's pretty tragic. Yeah, I don't think she's coming back, gang. I think she's done. Yeah, if the goal is to secure Japan, then yeah, having a super weapon like that would be pretty good. Yeah, just not us. Sure. Yeah, I'm imagining we're giving 11 of those dudes 11 swords, right? Ah, okay. Ventriloquism, sure. Ventriloquism? Anyway, this fight isn't pointless. Okay. I wonder how many floors there are on that building. Well, what did you come here for then? Oh. Well, that works too. Well, it kind of fucks over Kiki's plan, right? If he just kills everybody and then dies. Yeah, look at these freaks. Hell yeah. This is very video gamey. I kind of like it. Yeah. Zeto Kana. I'll need to get out my thing. I'm imagining we're going in order, and this is just Komori, based on colors. That would make sense. Oh yeah, I can actually shatter the swords. True, because first episode he got told not to do that. I remember. Oh, cool. The music's really good too. Cool. Don't go into his zone. He'll cut you. Using Zanto Namakura. Yeah, you didn't. You just kind of went to the roof or something from memory. Oh, now I can. He's just shitting on him. That's another broken sword. Another flaw. Great. This is like Mesa with the forest, right? Sento Tsurugi. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean you murdered I didn't think you murdered the other two guys. You murdered her. The same way you murdered Mesa, I guess. Anyway. Whew. Sup? Who are you again? Oh yeah, right. We didn't get to see Sabi Hakuhei, of course. Get shit on? Also, this guy's character design's crazy. That's another murder. Cool. We're on a murder spree. Show me another floor, please. Is this Armor Boy? I think that makes sense. Zokoto Yoroi. Yeah, and remember an armor-piercing strike or something, but we couldn't use it because we didn't want to fucking kill him. Ooh, interesting. I like that too. Just use some aerial combos. That's fucked up. He got put in the meat grinder. Holy fuck. Okay. Yeah, we're on a murdering streak. Maybe we did murder the first two. Bofuri D's nuts? Okay, this is the oh my god, I forgot her name. Up in the snow. You know what I'm talking about. Koniyuki. There you go. What's the point of this sword's cool too? Was he a money? Anyway, sure. I love the same shot too. Yes, Akito Bita. Akuto Bita, sorry. Uron. It's a lot of times. Interesting. Yeah, it was almost like the opposite of because I remember Nanami said something about killing him that many times. You know what I mean? Okay, she's got a stand. Yeah. So this is just Byorrigo, right? But you can't both attack at the same time. Not the revamp. Oh shit. We didn't even get to see it. Oh. Byorrigo shines solo. Okay, that's another murder. I love how long this sequence is too. That's great. Oto Nokogiri. Yeah, interesting. Huh. Yeah, there's honor to it, right? But not showing such honor. I can't imagine you would do that to the original owner. We were very much by the book there. Yeah, kinda. Good old Seto Hakari. Because that whole sword was a bit more of a puzzle than anything else, right? If it works, it works. Hopefully we didn't, like, murder that child. Yeah, she's still kicking. Okay. Sup? Hey. Some sort of Dokoto Meki. Interesting. So that's probably what the poison looks like without the extra or edge to it. The whole phoenix and steel technique angle. I love how shameless it is. Just show me the same thing 11 times, I don't care. Oh, we're done. Well, except for, of course, sword number 12. The gun. What's up? It's not 2v1. You stay in the back. I deny that. Ha ha ha. Well, yeah, of course you don't. You're part of the plan. And of course, contrasting, like, I'm ordering you to do this versus I'm ordering you to do this, and disobeying and obeying and stuff. Interesting. Okay. Agent of Chaos. Alright, she doesn't really care who wins. That's kind of funny. Me neither, honestly. But sure. Well then, bend over and die. Hmm. Interesting. Sure. In spirit. No, I remember. I watched the show. Togame is cute. I continue to say it. It continues to ring true. Oh yeah, look at that episode with the weird art style. Hell yeah. Shit rocks. Ugh. Horror movie villain. Alright. It's very weird how open we are about everything, if that makes any sense. Like, everyone knows that they're kind of being manipulated, but they're still doing it anyway. Unhumorous. I agree. Whoa! Well, how aren't you dead? You got shot with a gun. Oh yeah, I remember her whole things you need to follow. Yeah, unleashed from all the barriers we put on him. Sure. Protect me, protect yourself, protect the swords, and like love me or something. I think I remember it. Oh, he's cool. Yeah, look at this shit. Hell yeah. Die, cunt. Oh yeah, forget that rude's that word's like super rude to everybody that isn't like Australian. Or British, I guess. Anyway. Oh, don't slip. Yeah. That'll do it, I think. What? Yeah, that okay, good. I thought that's what that was. He loves the hair. I mean, goes without saying, but very well animated. I think that's murder. I think we won. I don't know if we wanted to win, but we certainly did. I mean, it feels good to get revenge on him. If only for Penguin, really. He didn't deserve that. My boy Penguin. Alright. I mean, I'm pretty worse for wear. Alright, cool. But now you're just a pawn in a bigger plan. How are you gonna die? Oh yeah, you guys fucked up the room. Look at that. Yeah, Bosh. Cool. Now what? Just a lot of murder. It most certainly is for you. Sup? I wonder what he looked like under the mask. Yeah, the whole dying words thing. Subservient till the end. Yeah, similar deal. Yes, Queen. Right away, Queen. Get tricked. Yeah. What are you talking about? Not really. She's kind of 6 feet under. It's, that's some evil talk. I agree. Okay. Weird. You guys were like sworn enemies, but there was a tinge of respect, I guess. Sure. Haite's fucking weird. I don't know what she's fucking thinking. Not really. I'd rather kill you. I mean, that'll do it. I think you got him. Oh, maybe to kill everybody inside. Up to and including himself. Hey, we're back. Okay. What do you mean? What happened? Well, that's all well and good, but like, what happened? Oh, based. Hell yeah. Okay. Nice. Cool. Characters that deserved good endings. I remember. It's true. Show me Sabi Hakohei. That guy's pretty... Oh, wait. It's going to be a really weird episode to talk about, right? Because a large portion of it is my dude... That's cool, too. It's my dude going up staircases and murking people. I don't know how to apply much insightful commentary towards that. Besides looking up what each sword means, and then maybe there's some cool stuff in being able to shatter them now or something, or how he shatters them. Yeah, okay, we're back. Now what happened? Okay, you didn't die. What the fuck? Okay, they didn't die. What is this? What is happening? Explain yourself, show. Okay. That's good, I guess. We won. True. Okay. Don't know. Are you doing the map thing? Is that what we're doing? Oh, look, it's the T thing from before, too. Okay, bye. Oh, he said the thing. We don't know? No more history on the bloke. No more perspectives. That's good. Okay, so he kind of fulfilled his promise. Well, it's something that one person wanted. That's good. Yeah. Logically. I mean, everybody like died, but sure. Okay. What the fuck? That ending's crazy. What do you mean? Okay, I get it though, but it's crazy. Also, yeah, my episode just like there it goes now. My episode didn't end. That was weird. It had like 30 seconds of darkness at the end. Weird. Okay, that episode was fucking crazy. I think I'm gonna spend majority of my time, and bear with me here, talking about whatever the fuck this is. Hang on. Whatever the fuck this is. Whatever the fuck this is. I think I'm gonna spend a lot of my time talking about whatever the fuck this is. As well as this scene, obviously. That's gonna be bulk of the discussion. Through here, we're kind of just fighting dudes. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. But I will be back shortly with some names and terms and stuff, and maybe do some reading on what it all meant. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I shouldn't sully myself by reading other people's opinions. Anyway, I'll see you in a second. So, Katanagatari, huh? Yeah, that's some crazy shit, huh? Yeah, that show rocks, by the way. That show's fucking awesome. It's all about how unconventional it is. It's all about people with goals that aren't always clear, that aren't always in the light, so to say. It's not about good guys and bad guys, let's put it that way. It's about people wanting certain things to happen, and what does history mean in regards to that, and what did all those deaths mean? So, okay, I'm overwhelmed by the overall pointlessness of everything that just happened. Nothing changed. That was the whole point. Fucking nothing. Nothing changed. Except for, I guess, with Haite and Shichika. That's different, right? But, like, everybody died. Nothing changed in history. It's all over now. All the swords are destroyed. And we just move on with our lives. What else is that ending part about that I'll get up now? What else is all of this about, if not talking about... Excuse me, one moment. What is all this about, if not that exact theme, right? Going through all these characters, ending on some kind of Togame, right? What is all this about, if not the people involved in the fruitlessness of it all and recording their journeys and adventures and stuff? I think that's the overall thing I'm struck with the most out of this. I mean, I guess I should go over the episode title, which is Ento Ju. I just looked it up. It's a very, very easy one. We're translating it as Gun the Flame. It's like flame, sword, gun. That's kind of what the kanji are telling me. That's what that is. There's nothing to tell you really about Entorju, and the geography stuff I can't really regale you with. Yeah, I guess journey more important than the destination, speaking about the geography stuff as well. This trip around Japan, based on these orders, that were kind of meant to be impossible. It was meant to be a pseudo-exile for Togami as well. Tell her to go get these swords. Like, we're on this pointless adventure where we meet all these people and see their stories, and our stories intersect with their stories, and some people move on and some people die and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, none of it really fucking matters. They just lived, and they continue to live, or they don't. I don't know. Am I making any sense here? It's very Nishio Sin. The story is kind of pointless. The sword story, pardon the pun, it's a pointless sword. Instead, it was about the people moving and thinking about, like think about the emotional story between Shichika and Togame that was told that had no bearing on history. This could have happened, or it couldn't have, and it didn't matter. Like, nothing mattered. But we still told this emotional story about these two people that mattered to themselves. Again, what is history if only your own perspective on things? I don't know if I'm a fucking madman right now, but I see it. I see what he's going for. I really do. I think it's easy to look at this episode and dismiss it as, well, that was anticlimactic. Like, that's the point. He's not a stupid writer. He knows that. He knows that telling us in like episode 9 or 10 that like heavily lampshading that Princess Haite was part of Shikizaki Kiki's family. He knows that's the incorrect thing to do if you want to reveal it later in the story and have it technically revealed. He does it he's fighting against these conventions to tell a real story about people. Same thing with Monogatari. It really, really is, right? Fighting against story conventions, more about the people and their moments and their character journeys, rather than overall plot significance. Again, not to harp on Monogatari too much, but what did Araragi do in that show that had an overbearing impact on a large portion of the people around him, or the world as a whole, I should say? Nothing really. All the stuff involved is just involved in the characters in their own little secret world. He loves this concept. He really does. I mean, I've only seen the first part of Zaragoto as well, and the anime adaptation, which is apparently, but I feel it hits a very similar note. Nothing outside of that island really impacted much of anything else. There's implications from that last episode that it goes a little bit wider, but and it ends kind of anticlimactically as well. Love that shit. Okay, he knows what he's doing. Please don't say he fucked up the ending, because like you don't put this here and then this at the end of the episode if you didn't have a point, right? Even if you don't like the point existed. Anyway, just because I was reading some stuff where people were like, I don't like the ending. Why didn't he just kill Haite? I'll talk about why he didn't kill Haite as well. It's actually pretty good character development. You could call it a breaking of a cycle of some kind as well, which is fun. The only thing I'm really unsure about is what was Kiki's actual plan? Because we said something about protecting Japan or something and making an ultimate weapon. But at the end of the day, Haite's just like, nah, our actual plan was just to overthrow the shogunate. It's like, anyway, I don't know if we're just like ad-libbing there or what's going on. Either way, I should go to the start. There's not really much here before the opening, I don't think. There's a little bit of something here and there, but it wasn't anything mind-blowing. I think I'm just going to start from here. And that's the easiest way to do this. And as I've explained before, I think a lot of my stuff is going to be focused on this first scene and maybe this middle one with Haite and the shogunate, and then maybe the last couple. I don't think there's much to be gleaned from the fighting of each specific sword. Maybe the one against Amon Zaimon deserves a bit more of a second look, but other than that, not much. So in a very Nissio Sin Monogatari-esque way, we start the episode with a text on screen. I wonder how this is presented in the novels. Is it just like maybe like a line break, maybe like speaking to the reader in a way? I don't know. But I'll read it out loud here. What do you think history is? You naturally have the history that you know, your own history, your own history. For example, let's say history is nothing but words. There is no way to determine if those words are the truth. Again, I did history in high school. History is all about perspective. It's all about sources. It's all about context, right? So this just speaks to the truth. How am I to know that this one perspective in this one textbook was how this thing that I did not witness actually went down? Again, how does this attach to the rest of the episode? Well, let's assume the events of Katanagatari are the truth. They are true history. There is no way to determine if they're real or fake, right? Everybody that mattered here either didn't write it down or died or went off into obscurity, like Shichika at the end, right? Isn't that kind of fascinating that we have that lack of knowledge? And even these people that lived these very interesting, very expansive lives, they just died and nobody recorded what they did. That's kind of, yeah, there's some poetry in that. Not a dark history, rather a false history. That history will also end with this chapter. Find it, open it, and then close it. And then the blood seeping in. Bind it, yeah, then close it. Like it's a book, right? Of course, working better in a written medium, right? Like somebody's written this down, so
I will close this book by the end of finishing this book. And then it's almost some fourth wall breaking for the book readers. Anyway, you know what I mean. As I've talked about before, big old sunset. The lighting's very pretty. You'll see a lot of kind of little flares and like beams of light coming through from the sun over the capital. And again, the sun setting on Togame's life. That's what we're getting at as well. Going into that night where Shichika's all, edgy and stuff. Looks a lot like his sister, but we'll talk about it. And then the day breaking, and then us seeing our journey and our life continuing on anew by the end of the episode. Makes a lot of sense thematically. Again, contrast between Amon Zaimon and Shichika here, right? So, Amon Zaimon is given task. Amon Zaimon will execute on task. He has given up everything to just be Princess Haite's guy. We'll talk about his death and what he says and his final words and all that kind of stuff. He was a simp to the end. And we kind of respect him for that. He stick to his morals. Shichika, on the other hand, in contrast, gets a request from Togame at the end of this scene here and basically does the opposite. But in that fantastic Nisio Asin kind of contradictory way, by doing the opposite, in the end, he actually does the right thing and lives on like she asked him to. I don't know. There's something in that. Also, he's crazy because he's like the best shot ever. He shot her in a way that she would have just enough time to say some dying words, like giving them this courtesy. But how can you determine? Anyway, he's a crazy shot. Of course, he's obsessed with final words, so that maybe talks to why he would do that as well, give them the courtesy to have this final chat. So. You can feel two different ways about this, right? And I believe both simultaneously. One, did she still intend to manipulate and backstab Shichika in the end and tell him to cock himself and all that kind of stuff, right? Did she still want him to die in the end and that was part of her plan? Or did she grow feelings for him and now not wish to do any of that and is maybe simply telling this story to make him feel better about her death? I think both are true. It's up to interpretation. My interpretation of Togame's character arc is she initially intended to use Shichika, but over the course of the show and over the course of her changing through the course of the show, which she talks about in this little speech, she fell for him in a way, right? And didn't want to use him anymore, became conflicted at the thought of using him in the same way that she originally intended. Maybe only telling him this now was his way of protecting him, right? Of making him feel less distraught at her death. Or maybe she's genuinely still really conflicted about the subject. You'll notice when the eye pops in, right? The eye that she only gained, right, upon witnessing the father dying and it kind of being passed on to her. Still don't really know what the white hair was about, but anyway, I digress. This eye represents her when she's scheming, when she's in Togame bad bitch mode. It's no coincidence that by the end, Shichika's also got a scar in the sign of, I think it's like 10 in his eye, right? Or on his eye, it's like a scar. She says here, early in the scene too, right? To be like, quiet, I'm thinking, I'm scheming here at this moment. Maybe this is, she knows she's going to die. Maybe this is the scheme she's cooking. A scheme in which to effectively tell Shichika to live on and don't follow me anymore. And she wants to make herself seem unappealing to follow now. And that kind of works. But he kind of wants to die. He doesn't want to live. He doesn't want to leave everything. He wants to... Anyway, contradictory. It's crazy. Yeah, she's thinking up a counter strategy. She's thinking up a scheme. Is this scheme reverse psychology to get him to do what he did and still accomplish her goals? Is she still that callous about it? Or does she really care about Shichika? It's up to interpretation. It really is. That's crazy. Of course, you have to assume that at the very end, she cared for him, right? It's just if she was still going to go through with killing him if she did survive. Because again, her final lines are essentially, I fell for you. Would it be okay if I fell for you? And then she dies, and that's all tragic and stuff. I don't know. Very, very interesting. I don't believe you were lying last episode too, when you were talking about like traveling together and stuff. I didn't get the lying sense from her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I love this joke too. As my final wish, or one of my final wishes, can you make sure the whole country picks up Cheerio as a shout of encouragement in my place, right? As opposed to Chestor and then the punch. We're going to move that to Cheerio, right? This is one of my final wishes. Even on my deathbed, I wish not to be embarrassed by this one thing that I did one time that was different from the norm. Very funny. I like that a lot. It almost made me think that she was going to survive somehow, because, like, why would you be joking about this if this was meant to be a serious scene? But then it goes on for another 10 minutes, and then obviously it's real. I think we're going to talk about this ending, or this part here, hitting emotionally. I think you'll notice I wasn't really moved emotionally at all. I think that's the split in the episode, right? So last week I saw that she got shot, and then I saw a preview in which it looked like she was dying for a long period of time. It wasn't surprising, is my point. Even, yeah, again, the preview of the previous episode showing her getting shot, I'm like, well, I mean, that's in the brain now. It's towards the end of the... There was no shock to it, I guess, is my point. I like the things that she says, and the music that plays, and it's all very beautiful and stuff. But was it emotionally moving? Not really for me. Extremely interesting, though. We'll continue with that. That's what I mean by the lighting. I really like this stuff. Very pretty. Obviously, the gate here casting the shadows. We continue on here, your pretty prototypical stuff, right? Shichika in disbelief, Togame accepting things. Oh my god, you need to continue, you need to go on with this, you've still got things you need to do, and then it's like, no, it's too late for me, all this kind of stuff. There is a split in this conversation, and I'll probably get back to you when that happens. I guess talking to this split, a lot of this first half is, I was happy to know you, I became a better person because of you, I grew because of you, I'm happy I met you, all these lovely dying words type things. Because of you, I believed I could change. Because of you, I was happy for once, right? In these 20 years that I've existed, or 20 whatever years the 20 years I've been pursuing this dream anyway. We'll talk about the white snake symbolism. But in the end, I couldn't change. And pair this with white snake on naked girl body with white hair. If you say Monogatari, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, white snake. What is a snake? A snake is deceitful, right? The white snake also mirroring her hair which has been used to allure Shichika the entire time as well, right? This whole time I've been behind your back scheming, essentially. It's a fitting way for me to die, the way someone like me should die. Casting judgment on myself for feeling these feelings and manipulating Shichika like this. And then Shichika has these outbursts. Didn't you say that we were going to live? Didn't you say we were going to make this map? Didn't you say it was all going to be okay? Are you saying all that was a lie? Yeah. Yeah, it was, right? But there's a clear delineation here between two sides of Togame that she was clearly torn between. Like, she's clearly unsure. I think she was still unsure even to this moment, perhaps leaning on the side that's a little bit more charitable towards Shichika. I think it's a very callous view to say that it was a good thing that she died and she was just going to kill Shichika anyway. Again, as I've said before, a personal read I have as well is that, hey, I'm telling you this now to soften the blow of my death. Potentially, if you think that a future enemy of yours has died instead of the love of your life, then you'll be able to move on quicker and better. Like, she's aware of it. Like, even my own heart is a pawn on the board. Like, I'm almost separated into my head and my heart. My head's still doing all this scheming shit, but my heart has fallen for you. And because my heart has fallen for you, you will fall deeper for me, and then it'll be easier to accomplish my goals. Which, again, is overthrowing she wants revenge broadly. I think Haite represents the revenge, because the only reason that Hidetaka Hito was killed was because of all this Shikazaki Kiki history BS. So you want to end that and make sure that Kiki's plans don't come to fruition. So you would kill Shichika once Shichika had killed Haite and Amon Simon. I guess that's how it would work, and you would have accomplished your goal. I see. As opposed to what actually happened, which again is batshit insane, but we'll talk about it. I love this too, so we'll see this quite a bit. We cut back to this while we do a lot of the dialogue. It's kind of the shadow being cast, this white shadow on the ground, the blood, the water, and everything else, and we'll see it start to swim. Again, much like her hair, again, much like the snake imagery we've already used, right? My shadow is a white snake, the white like my hair, again. or white lies as well, and the snake being deceitful, backstabbing, in the shadow, not currently seen. Shichika blindsided too. Again, a large part of my predictions up to this point have been like, hey, again, like, your dad killed her dad. She doesn't harbor any feelings there. I'm happy we're finally bringing it up here. Of course I was thinking about it. Of course I didn't just let it go. Of course we didn't write it off in the same way we wrote it off in episode 11, right? Even so, I thought that I could forgive you, but even so, that may have been another pawn on the board as well. One eye like this, one eye like this. Conflicted. Torn. If that's the case, then why did you teach me to feel all these emotions? That in itself was also a pawn. But why did you do all this? I would have killed myself for you if you even asked. Torn. Clearly this wasn't her overall goal, otherwise she would have just told you to do it as soon as she learned you were one of the swords, essentially. Or, again, maybe did it at the very end. Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's fine. If that was the case, what was the point to your life? What was the point to your life if everything was just a scheme? What has eventuated now, in a plot sense, if you did intend to lie to me at the very end and backstab me at the very end? Nothing. Nothing has happened. It ends. There wasn't a point to any of it. But that's also in itself the point. Very Nisuo-sin. I'm going to continue to say it. I love this. This is fantastic. And yeah, this is when the shadow starts going crazy, getting more snake-like qualities. Like, what the hell were you doing? Are you stupid? Kinda. I don't know. She's always been kind of stupid. However, right now I'm dying in the middle of the road and I'm happy. Because this way, I don't have to make that decision. I don't have to make the decision to kill you or not kill you or whatever my destiny said, whatever my legacy overbearing on me would have told me to do about it. Again, this whole show is about overbearing legacy on people and kind of breaking the legacy in the same way we're breaking the swords at the end, too. Love it. There is almost freedom in death away from this decision being made. And Shichika pleads here, couldn't you have done all that without dying? And then Togame proceeds to give him the final order. Forget about me and everything that happened with me and live on as you wish. So again, we're kind of doing it at the end. I think the implication at the end is that we're making a map in the same way that, we would have. So in that way, he isn't forgetting about Togame. He's still falling for her, right? But he's still living on, accomplishing one part of the wish too. So sure. Again, the whole show's been about giving orders and, who's in charge and who's the human here, who's commanding the sword, all that kind of stuff. In this final moment, she gives a final order, right? I want you to live on. I want you to forget about me. I want you to forget about all this. In the way that he isn't a sword, he disagrees and goes and takes revenge and doesn't forget about her and is fighting for vengeance and all these other things, right? But in that way, it's also very sword-like, very combative, doesn't talk it out, right? He just kills. So again, contradictory. Love it. It goes without saying, but the voice acting from both sides here is magnificent. Particular shout-outs to Shichika. He really lets loose here. It's the most emotional he's been. It's the culmination of his kind of sword versus human stuff. It's almost his most human moment is kind of like proclaiming his love here on her deathbed. Shichika, I'm a stupid and egocentric woman. I basically prioritized revenge over everything else. The only cure was my death. A terrible woman who treated you as nothing but a tool, whose fate is only death. However, that kind of disappearing, and then we get an audio cue with the harp as well. Even so, would you mind if I fell for you? In the same way that Shichika fell for her in the first episode, bringing everything full circle. And these are Togame's dying words. This is what I think she most firmly believed. Despite it all, I still loved you. And then yeah, hand goes limp, falls in the blood, and she dies. We don't get to hear what Shichika says here. Probably something akin to I love you too, or I don't agree to your request, or something like that. Love the chime sound effect here. We really linger on this scene too. Love it. And the sun setting over the capital there. From here, night breaks and there's this ominous feeling about it almost immediately. Like, again, I'd seen the preview. I knew that some shit was happening, but this is ominous. I don't know what else to tell you. Also, let's count floors here just because we're being nasty like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then probably something up here being the final room. Very cool. They can count. So this is Owari Castle. Princess Haite finally gets a kind of audience with the shogunate. Essentially, what we think is happening at this moment, right here, right now, is that Haite is taking Togame's work. But, as we also should know, she's also got that kind of Kiki side to it too. So she's here to present all the swords to the shogunate, but potentially part of the plan is that Shichika will now attack and kind of make himself the ultimate weapon in the process? I don't know. What was Kiki's plan? It's still unclear. Haite, in her petty squabble with Togame, also sees this as somewhat of a win, right? Again, legacy. This legacy of these two families that are opposed to one another. Only one of them opposed to the other because of a sword as well, which is kind of crazy. These two families opposed to each other, being passed down onto the daughters, who now are supposed to oppose each other. But deep down, you also had some kind of respect for Togame as well. And then, of course, rejecting legacy by the end of the episode, where you almost take Togame's place. So then I see all these guys, and I'm like, okay, I saw last week's preview, I know what that's about. And then I almost put all the pieces together very quickly. I'm like, okay, Kyotoru is going to attack very soon. So we start explaining some lore here about Shikazaki Kiki, right? There's also a thing about, like, how do I know you're not lying, Haite? That's what the shogunate says. And then Haite very quickly is like, since when does the lack of evidence refute something? And then he's like, oh yeah, continue. It's like, I would ask for some evidence that you are who you say you are, that you actually descended from Kiki, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I believe that anyway. Listen. So, like, what she's saying right now, I feel like it's performative. That, okay, Kiki's actual plan here is to overthrow the shogunate, and that plan in itself was also the same plan as the initial rebellion, which makes everything fucking pointless, right? Because Togame and Haite were on the same page? What? Right? That makes sense to me. Because Togame's plan is to rebel, right? For the sake of her father. That's been her motivating factor this whole time. She's using Shichike in that process. Haite now reveals that Kiki's plan the entire time was to overthrow the shogunate. And then we just do that? And then history is corrected? Huh? So yeah, again, I think all this stuff about a foreign force invading Japan in 100 years or whatever the hell is fake. Or maybe that's real. I don't know. Because again, the foreign force invading Japan thing made sense to me. Because it feels like Kiki's ultimate plan with this whole thing is to power up and complete Kyotoru. That's what would make sense to me. That's what, we're training up this ultimate weapon because we're super nationalist and we care about preserving Japan as it stands right now. We don't want any foreign forces invading. And if we had the super weapon, they wouldn't invade. But was that just all performative for the Shogun guy? I don't know. I do not know. I would love some clarity here, if you catch my drift. So yeah, why did Kiki falsify history? For the sake of Japan, to power up Japan and help them not lose something, right? And let the shogunate reign for another 1,000 years or whatever the hell. Amon Zaimon then interrupts the conversation just as we say this as well, what Shikazaki Kiki's plan is. It would appear that the intruder is none other than that man. That man being Kyotoru has entered the castle. And yeah, okay, let's talk about character design. 1. We're invoking his sister a lot, right? I don't have the means to put a side-by-side up here right now, but put a picture of evil Nanami on screen next to him, right? You see the similarities, right? There's quite a bit there. We have a tuft of hair here as well, right? The white hair of, I'm guessing, Togame, that would make sense to me. Just overall with the eyes, just looks a little bit more callous and fucked up and stuff. He's undergone some kind of metamorphosis over this process, right? There is also one other crucial way he's very similar to his sister, and that is his want for death. He wants this all to end, he wants to not live on, he wants to die. Very, very crucial similarity between the two. Almost attacking in the hopes of finding somebody strong enough that is actually able to kill me and end my life. Which for right now is probably agony for him, considering the emotional weight. Haite here wonders if this is also part of Shikazaki Kiki's plan. That got me thinking, shit, we're going to activate him. We're going to complete Kyotoru, and he's going to act as this weapon to repel the invaders from outside. The problem being that he probably should be looking for revenge on you if he was still being overburdened by the legacy of Togame, right? This is the end for both of us, she says. He's going to come up here and kill everybody in the castle. I thought by the very end, when he did the thing, he was destroying the castle, in essence destroying everybody involved, including himself. But that's not what happened. Instead, you survive, almost as like, we're breaking the cycle, we're breaking the cycle of violence, we're breaking this legacy that I'm under, right? I'm no longer living in Togame's shadow, I'm being my own person in a way. This is where I'll have less to talk about, I guess. I'm just gonna rewatch this. He's just gonna kill a bunch of dudes like a few times. I'm sure there's some specific inferences with the specific swords where the way he destroys them is pointed to how those episodes played out. But those episodes are also so far in the past that I don't really remember. Again, just say it now and not sound like a broken record. The whole point is that he can destroy the swords now. He's no longer under that burden now that his master is dead or whatever the hell. He's no longer under the command of keep the swords, don't destroy the swords, don't destroy Togame, don't destroy yourself, and love her unconditionally, or whatever the fourth one was there. As he says here, Togame, looks like I can't follow your orders after all. I'm going to destroy the swords. I'm going to continue to hold this burden. I'm not going to go off and forget about her and live my life. If you want to see Shichika be badass too, this is a pretty good scene to watch. He just kills all these red shirt dudes. It's pretty good. The shogunate pleads with Princess Haite to help stop Shichika. Wasn't he under your control? No, he was under Togame's control. Well, where is she? She killed in the process of finding the swords. That's when I was thinking, okay, this is still part of Haite's plan, because you know, she killed Togame for this reason almost, right? Or at least ordered for her to die, to continue to propagate this plan of Shikazaki Kiki's. But that doesn't seem to be the case by the end. She's just kind of like really frivolous about it. It's very weird. Either way, he's berserk and out of control and stuff, and we can't really stop him. However, this may be a blessing and a curse at the same time. The blessing being that we have completed the Deviant Blade and will live in prosperity for years and years and years. So again, in this process of this blessing and curse type thing, where we're going to complete the Deviant Blade, he also needs to destroy all the other blades, so I'm going to use the 11, whom your lordship calls part of his own body. Again, these guys don't have color right now. Are these guys like fucking homunculi, or are they just in the shadow? It's unclear. And then yeah, we basically get our premise. We got 12 floors, we got 12 dudes, we got 12 swords. It's time to review. We're going to go and destroy all these swords. We get Amon Zaimon doing some ventriloquism here and says, hey, you should come attack us or something. He says, hey, head towards the castle keep. That's where me and Haite are, which is kind of a lie. They're actually at the top floor. Whatever stands in your way, I know that you'll break through. Isn't this whole thing for revenge, right? So you want to get to us, right? I'm technically the one that killed Togame. Don't you want to kill me? But however, I didn't come here to avenge Togame. I came here to die. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, now we've got two conflicting sides. You have the side of Shichika, who wants to die in this process, and that's why he's kind of disobeying her orders or whatever the hell. And then we have Haite, who wants him to live and complete Kiki's orders and have this deviant blade that's kind of technically in control of the shogunate and is going to lead to prosperity for Japan. This is where it all made sense to me. Towards here, it doesn't really make sense to me. But anyway, as I've said, then we've got 11 fights. If you want to watch 11 fights, you should go through and watch the episode again. There wasn't really much here that I saw which differentiated these guys. There's a few cool designs and whatever. I like the repeated shots. I like the reminding of the names of the swords. Specifically this shot here as we climb up out of the floor. Very, very cool. A lot of the process here is discovering, hey, this would have been a lot easier if I could have just destroyed the swords from the start, but that wasn't one of my objectives, so sure. Also, he's powerful, more powerful at this point. He does murder them too, which I guess is part of it too. Like, these are part of the shogunate's bodies. This is part of his being, so just in destroying these people, in crushing this building, I'm also, in essence, destroying him, killing him, finally. Yeah, look at this little freak. I don't know about this person. Particularly this kill on Yoroi, the armor, as well. pretty crazy. I'm guessing you could look at all these other character names as well and have some kind of inference to the other side of the sword, but if I'm honest, I'm feeling kind of lazy. I don't really want to do that. And unless there's some that are super specific and kind of fix up parts of the story, which I don't think that would happen. Anyway, I don't. Yeah, listen, I'm sure it's Easter eggy stuff. He certainly does kill them all, though. Like, very, very easily, some of them. There was the one where it was like Byorgo and that girl attacking him at the same time, and there was no trouble defeating both. This one's very interesting for this guy's speech at the start, because this very much mirrors Kaguchi, right? And her, like, need for rules and honor and everything else in between. Like, again, the swords represent legacy. Let's expand this out to the rest of the show. Everyone's being tied down by this poison. Everyone's being tied down by what they're meant to do at these certain moments, even if their personal motives and whatever else they want to do wants to take precedence sometimes, right? In the end, that legacy and that need to be involved in their own history led to their deaths. There's something in that, too. And of course, the funniest death is the one with just the hilt. Like the 10th sword, just, yeah, I don't know, I died, sure. The other one that's interesting here as well is that without all the Ho-Oh extra stuff, this guy's just kind of insane and has gone mad from the poison, saying Shikizaki, 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 as opposed to being possessed. So, again, probably talks to Ho-Oh's specifics there. There's also the part here where we go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Very, very excessive, but also kind of great. Builds up this great finality by the time we see these two. So yeah, upon meeting these two, Haite goes to go upstairs. I think this is an important point now knowing the ending. Though I hated the Strategian, I hold no animosity towards you. So, speaks to why they can travel together by the end. Like, you don't hate Kyotoru. Actually, upon looking around, I was reminded of another moment earlier in the show. Remember when they were meeting with Haite, and there was one moment where kind of Shichika lingered looking on her for a little bit longer than normal? I was like, huh, that's a bit weird. I think it may have even happened twice. But you could imply that potentially this is some kind of romantic thing if he didn't quote unquote fall for Togame. Maybe he likes Haite as well, and maybe that spins off into its own thing. I don't know. You could be disappointed by that looking at it from maybe like a cheating perspective, but I don't know. I think it works for me though. I think that explains that moment in at least one interpretation. Again, Haite's so chill. She just goes upstairs. She's like, okay, if you win, then come upstairs and you may kill me, right? Okay, well, Amon Zaimon, I want you to kill him. And then he brings it up. However, if I kill Kyotoru, Shikizaki Kiki's plan will never come to fruition, at least the way that he knows it right now. However, you may not realize it yet, but I'm a very denying kind of person. I think, again, your name, but I think you're just contradictory. That's your whole thing. Because of this, I want to see his plans destroyed just as much as I want to see them completed. So again, you don't really care. She just wants to see something happen. It most certainly is unpleasant. So we've set this up, right? Upstairs. Upstairs means Kiki's plan is completed. That is bad, right? Downstairs, we have to fight Amon Zaimon. We want to die. But still he doesn't die, no matter what? Amon Zaimon just following orders? This is fucking crazy talk. We have a little bit of a heart-to-heart here as well. Because Amon Zaimon says, he's like, I don't want to fight for Kiki, I want to fight for the princess. But the princess didn't give me a solid direction here other than kill you. But I don't know what she really wants here, so that's really weird. And then Shichika's like, I think fighting for anybody's sake, or at all really, is kind of pointless. At the start I obeyed Togame without any resolution at all. And after a while I obeyed her for her sake after finding resolve. If you have to think about it, then you shouldn't be fighting in the first place. And you had to think about it constantly? And you're thinking about it now? Because after all, in the end, Togame was only thinking about herself. However, I still fell in love with Togame despite that? And then I'm in love with her, so I must get revenge? So that is my reason for fighting, and I'm kind of technically not thinking about it? And then we get sad montage of cute Togame everywhere? I specifically like the ones where it's that really weird art style from like episode 7. Those were really like jarring and weird. I thought that was cool. I loved that part of her. That's why I think now that I was only fighting for myself. So we've got this like visage of Togame telling him to fight, right? Even though she still isn't here. because I loved that part of her. That's why even now I'm still fighting for her, because that is almost part of my internal beliefs as well. So I'm technically not thinking about it, it's what I want. This is my human desire coming through, not my desire as a sword to be invading the castle and killing all these people and getting revenge. However, why are you doing this? Well, to die. Well, you're not doing a good job at dying, so are you being contradictory as well? Because Togame told me to live, but I don't have a duty to obey that order anymore. Amon Zaimon says this is all very illogical, what you're doing here, which is right, and if this is really part of Kiki's plan, then it's truly illogical as well, which is also true. This is when he gets at Entorju and starts shooting him with the gun. We think he's dodging at this point, but he may just be taking the bullets. Again, if you came here to die, then why are you avoiding death like this? It's because I'm not really avoiding death. I had the resolve to take them from the start. Togame gave me an order to protect my stealth. That was one of the initial orders, but I no longer have a duty to obey that. So in the process of accomplishing my goals, what I want to have happen, which is to kill you, I'm going to hurt myself in the process. Yeah, he's truly fully powered at this point. He doesn't need to protect himself, and he can destroy the swords. He's fully powered. And yeah, we get a kind of final confrontation here between the two, destroying the room in the process. It gets fiercer and fiercer. We get this strike done in kind of like an X formation on his chest. This is where we see the fire element of the sword come out too, the fire of the guns. But then yeah, we start to get the upper hand here. There's a nice musical swell, where the hair that's on his kind of belt buckle here is flowing in the wind as well. I'm guessing, again, this is her hair, this is Togame's hair. We also see here that kind of that X formation of that strike, if I can get it, has hit one of his eyes, making this kind of X pattern on his eye very similar to Togame. And yeah, we finally kill Amon Zaimon. We say completed Deviant Blade, Kyoto Yasuri. Kyoto Yasuri? Sure. He's complete. He completed himself. He's perfected. He's ready to do whatever Kiki's plan was to do with him. We get the text on screen, Entorju broken, very similar to all the other swords we saw. A lot of text on screen this episode. With Amon Zaimon's final words, he yells out for the princess. As we find out when he goes upstairs, there was more final words than even that. Yeah, I guess that's why he turns around and goes back here, right? Because he looks down at the hair, and he's like, shit. Maybe I should get his final words. That's something that Togame would use. Cool, so then we have Shichika going upstairs. He's all badass and broken and bloody and stuff. The lines initially here from Haite, it's like, it won't be long until our plan is achieved. Our plan. It doesn't say us and the Shogunate's plan for prosperity. Our plan. Amon Zaimon's final words, he tosses his mask onto the ground covered in blood. Princess, please forgive me for dying for your sake. Which is about the most apologetic thing I've ever seen. Again, he's simping to the very end. Haite remarks a very similar remark, saying how annoying he is in doing so. Again, Haite seems very prepared to die here. Shichika, as you wanted, I'll die here, I'm ready to die. Unfortunately, I don't think I can take on more than one person. So he turns his attention to the Shogunate, right? Okay. Again, the Shogunate is the reason for the story. Is the reason why Togame got told to go find all the swords, right? It was technically for his sake. In such a way, he is also the reason why she died. Makes sense. Hence why Kyotoru here wants to kill him. Makes sense to me. However, if you don't die, this won't end. This is Haite now. All that about Yanari Shogunate lasting 1,000 years was a lie. It was just a means to speak with you. After all, the collapse of the Owari Shogunate was Shikizaki Kiki's objective. What the fuck are you talking about? Is this self-preservation stuff? Because the other plan makes way more sense with what this is about. Well, it was originally supposed to be a different shogunate and shogun's household, but after preventing them from coming to power, your family took over the country in a similar manner and built up peace across the country. Perhaps this is history self-correcting itself? What is the point of anything? Your plan's pointless. This whole squabble between you and Togame is pointless. Huh? What? Holy fuck. It was a future that could have been, not the future, but the original. So that's what should have been? My wish was to kill you, and that wish has been finally fulfilled? Togame wasted her life because of you? That's the reason why you want to kill her? So you're both united in your want to kill the shogunate right now. I mean, I've been saying shogunate the entire time. I probably should be saying shogun, but sure, it doesn't matter. Killing you at this point wouldn't make any burden come off of her. It wouldn't make me feel any better by doing it. This is very mature from Shichika. But then you see, I have to make an example of you. And then some final words here between Shichika and Haite. Togame told me to thank you if I managed to run into you. Can I ask one thing? Deep down, you liked Togame, right? Didn't you? Despite all the legacy, despite everything else, despite all the external factors telling you two to hate each other, I guess I didn't dislike her. A little bit of tsundere right there at the end. This is probably a reason why, again, this question, why we don't end up killing her as well. I see, well, you're the one that's actually responsible, Mr. Shogun, sir. And then, yeah, I'll give you power. Don't you want power, Shichika, right? Don't you want power instead of, that'll make everything better. And then, yeah, the outburst, I don't give a damn about that. Killing him, destroying the building. Again, causing the building to fall slightly too. It looks like it's falling there, and that's why I thought that they all died. And then, yeah, that's when we start doing credits. So the credits essentially pan through various locations from the story. There's a couple of important ones I wanted to stop in on, though. So again, if you remember Konayuki's kind of ending to her part, is that we're going to send her to the same shrine that Meisai was at. This is her here. She's doing a good job. Remember these two? Which I'm sure was, I think they were a reference to Zaragoza or something, somebody said. They're all here. All your favorites. They made it. At least she survived. I like Konayuki. Also, there's a song here that I'll potentially read the lyrics to after. I don't know. When does the song keep going to? We do stop in with Kaguchi as well. She's finally got an actual school going with actual students. I'm guessing the influence of the sword isn't turning people away now, which is nice. Yeah, and then, okay, post credits. So I'll do the song now. My dreams buried in the dark, suddenly they come to mind. You and I, when was it? We met far ago and long away. This is probably very epilogue-y for the overall story. Two people meeting. It was like a dream. We went on a long journey. Sounds like the show. We traveled the road before us, chasing an unending dream, reaching in the end another time to part. We definitely parted, that's true. Innocent words fading in the wind, let us set upon the road again. We do set upon the road again. Holy fuck. And then, yeah, well, where shall it take us next? Leading into that post-credit scene. Japan really is big. So, okay, we're making a map. Cool. So we're following that kind of dream that we had with Togame. That's great. Okay, Shichika making map. Cool. I'm happy. I'm content. And then I see this, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Okay, I found you, Shichika-kun. I don't remember asking you to follow me. So, there's some kind of obligation here from Haite. She kind of has nothing else left but to just follow Shichika. In kind of a weird, obsessive way, I'm not such a heartless person as to make you ask me to come along. But I don't really want you to be here regardless. Again, we see the scar more prominently here too. He's got a lot of design similarities to Shikazaki Kiki by the end as well. He kind of wears that similar hat that we saw from him in the flashback. So that's cool too. And she's got the scars on her neck, similar to him as well. Perhaps unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, says the narrator, history was not falsified in the end. The son of one of the Masasuna's direct descendants simply succeeded the seat of the 9th shogun? Sure. So, we killed a guy, but it kind of meant nothing because we just kind of walked away and didn't take any of the power vacuum. Like, we just left it for the next guy that was the next descendant. Shikazaki Kiki's descendants' attempts for a revolution in history essentially failed, right? Because we didn't... But I don't know what his plan was. What was he doing? It was all pointless. But he failed. His plan to change history. History didn't change. This whole story is pointless, is the point, right? We didn't change history. The same things that happened in our timeline now happened in their timeline. Of course, we're eating mochi here, right? In a very similar way that in a number of different scenes, Togami and Shichika have eaten mochi. Generally, towards the end of the episode as well, once things were done. This is very classic. Again, you taking the role of Togame here in a way. Shikazaki Kiki lost in the end. Everything started going off-plan, starting with Q Shogun and Hida Takahito and his daughter. If you ask me, all that stuff about altering history is like some fairy tale, or some fantasy tale, I should say. If it's like you say, and another country will sail here and destroy Japan, we'll just leave it to the warriors of that time to deal with it. Well, the falsification failed, but maybe it can still be altered a bit. I'm sure Japan in 100 years won't let itself be ruined like that so easily. Let's hope they got some guts. Again, talking to the Thing. You know the Thing. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, now we're going to continue roaming around the country. We're going from Noto to Kago or something. We've also got a T and got like the one stalk standing up in it, which is supposedly supposed to be good luck. Remember that scene with Togame as well? Shouldn't we replenish our funds? I'm leaving that side to you. You're probably very rich. So yeah, you deal with the funds, I deal with the bandits. I'm almost like your sword in that way. It's almost like a Shichika Togame type thing we have going on. And then yeah, puts our hat on and we're on our way. However, by that point you may be torn to pieces if I don't protect you, like almost inverting your catchphrase, like saying it to a pouting companion as opposed to an enemy. Right? Again, as I've said, we're breaking legacy, we're breaking convention, we're breaking everything. We're making it all fucking pointless. All the history and all everything weighing over you, and all the history and all everything weighing over me, via Togame, is now water under the bridge. We're just kind of doing our thing now. And we don't disturb anyone ever again, to the point where we don't make any more history. Yeah, as we see here, the narrator says there was no more news about Yasuri Shichika, right? He may have died on a roadside in the middle of his journey, or something else. I love the animations here on Haite as well. Very cute. Reminds me a lot of Togame. Even after everything was over, after the historical plan connecting man and swords failed, be it for a long or short period, he certainly lived. Again, fulfilling Togame's request. And that was certainly something that everybody wanted, right? And this is when we list it. We go through everybody, right? These characters who died and lived and laughed and schemed and did everything else, right? Some of them dying illogically. They all lived. And there was no grand point to it all. There was no story meaning to it all. There was no nothing. They just lived. They lived their lives. And even if history doesn't remember their perspectives, they certainly still lived, in the same way that we live right now. The story still offers a happy future for some of them, right? Filled with hopes and dreams. However, Katanagatari will lower its curtains here, and most of the characters just died. Everyone just died, and the plans were pointless. And, I don't know, Shichika went through a character arc, but also, what was Kiki's plan? I still don't really know. His plan is to alter history. His plan is to alter history for Japan's sake, to shake things up by overthrowing the shogunate, to do none of the above. I don't know. At the end of the day, we thwarted our enemy's plans, our enemy, Kiki, right? And we avenged Togame in a way. But in that same way, we didn't follow through with the cycle of violence, where I'm sure, okay, Kiki's plan, I'm sure it involved him killing Haite and him killing Thingo and then him taking over Japan or whatever the hell, right? Taking the power vacuum that's sitting there in front of him, right? And then that leading to Japan's prosperity, maybe. That's certainly part of the plan. But then Shichika just says, fuck that, and does his own thing and leaves everything behind, kind of following Togame's final words. Again, I'm pretty solid on the themes. I love the themes here, and I really think they fit with the rest of the show in a great way, right? I'm just a little bit lost on the specifics, and I'm not sure that really matters. I'm sure that, again, the feeling I'm taking away from it, which is mostly me being impressed at the pointlessness of it all, is the intended thing that's meant to happen, and way more important than the nitty-gritty here. I've also been talking way too long, so I'm probably going to stop here, but yeah, I'm willing and able to talk about this more and more if somebody has more things they want to talk to me about Katanagatari, because it's extremely interesting. Definitely not the ending I was expected. Again, Nishio Sin built up an expected ending and then did everything he could to subvert it in a way that made me question the even nature of a story in a way that he has done before many times. Yeah, just a genuinely crazy writer. Genuinely crazy, for sure. But yeah, I mean, that was the show. It was really good, if I can get rid of that. Yeah. Good show. I enjoyed it. But yeah, where does that leave us now? There will be a poll at some point on the channel. It will involve things. There'll be something on it. Probably close to 5 shows, I think, and we'll figure out something from there. Probably just a bunch of shit I want to watch, maybe taking some recommendations, probably shorter stuff. But we'll see. I might just put whatever I want on it. Anyway, video should be out relatively soon after this one. However, I am signing off. Show stuff. If you like the video and all the craziness within it, then you could like the video. Click and like definitely helps. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm at 850 now, which is pretty cool. I want to get to 1,000 before long. That'd be nice. What else do I normally say? Comment if you have some comments. I would love to hear more thoughts about Katanagatari episode 12. That shit's mental. Twitter, you should follow me on Twitter and I'll follow you back. And the Discord. Get some final recommendations in there. If not for this poll, then for the next one, which will probably replace the movies. I've only got one movie to go, so sure. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the series. It's been a blast. It's been really, really fun. One of the best things I've watched on the channel for sure. And yeah, I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm going to say cheerio for a final time as well. So cheerio. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. Goodbye.